Hello, this is Jeff from the future. This episode was recorded in 2020 as part of an original attempt at a music review podcast. The original idea was to discuss new music as it was being released, but 2020 being what it was, brought quite a few album postponements and other complications. So this series continued through 2020 and into 2021. We are now here in 2022 at the time I am recording this. So what you are about to listen to is not the Sound Judgment podcast, but an early iteration. Also, being that it was recorded more than 2 years ago now, some of our thoughts and opinions may have changed, considering that we are, in fact, people who are continuously trying to learn and better ourselves. Enjoy the show. Don't worry, everything is better. I postponed our recording session so I could go make some hot chocolate, because that was important. Alright, anyway. Hi, Chris. Merry Christmas, Chris. How are you?
Merry Christmas, Jeff.
So, what are we doing? I mean, other than talking about Christmas songs.
Well...
Did I catch you off guard with that question? This didn't seem complicated to me.
I'm pouring some eggnog real fast. And I believe...
Now, hold on. It's like... What? So I'm curious. What eggnog do you have here?
I have some Pennsylvania Dutch eggnog made with real dairy cream, rum, brandy, and blended whiskey.
Alright, that doesn't sound bad.
The lady at the liquor store assured me that it was really good.
Yeah, that doesn't sound bad. That sounds pretty okay to me.
I spilled a little on my keyboard, though, and that's...
You know what? That's fine. Your keyboard's gonna be okay.
Oh, man.
Alright, well, like I said, I just went and made myself some hot chocolate
Hot chocolate, and we're going to... Oh, go ahead.
I'll say nothing special, just like a very basic, just like a Hershey's cocoa, sugar, some cinnamon, vanilla, like nothing crazy, just like a very classic hot chocolate. It's a good
You
time.
sometimes like to put a little bit of peanut butter in it, yes?
Or a lot of things. I go crazy with my hot chocolate sometimes. I love doing melted peanut butter, but it sucks to make. Because if you don't cook peanut butter correctly, you just get this gritty mess floating around in your hot chocolate, and like, no one wants that. That sucks. So like, melting down peanut butter well is a chore.
Yeah, you have to get it like just right. That's the key.
Yeah, and it's just time consuming, and it's really, the problem is if you're making like a large batch of peanut butter hot chocolate and you mess it up, you just ruined that whole batch. Not that it's like undrinkable, but again, who wants grittiness in their hot chocolate? That just not a good time.
Yeah, that doesn't sound pleasant.
I'm really into a lot of cinnamon in hot chocolate. I love like melting candy canes in your hot chocolate is like the simplest thing in the world. If you just get yourself a cup of hot chocolate, just use a candy cane to stir it, and it will just like melt some of the candy cane into it, and that is the coolest way and like the most festive way to add like a peppermint flavor to your hot chocolate. It's a good time.
That sounds really good.
It is really good.
I kind of just want to cancel the episode and just go make hot chocolate.
Sorry, guys. We're actually never talking about Christmas music because I'm going to spend the rest of the night experimenting with hot chocolate. See you, everybody. Merry Christmas. Have a good one.
Merry Christmas. So anyways...
No, anyway. We're actually talking about Christmas songs.
We're here to do a series of a few Christmas episodes. Rather than do one long one, I figured we'd talk about things as a few different topics. And I thought the first thing that we would talk about is some of the classic traditional Christmas songs that we enjoy, or both don't enjoy, or, that kind of thing.
Yeah, so we're talking about, like, just the songs themselves. I'm going to try, no, I'm really bad at this. I'm going to try and not get into the specifics of who's saying certain songs best. That is... coming. That's not what we're getting at right now.
This first one, we just kind of want to talk about the composition of some of the traditional ones.
Yeah. Some songs that just, like, anyone, just being sung is a good time. I'll say, I'm assuming I have a lot more to say than this than you, so why don't you get us started here?
Well, one of my favorite classic Christmas songs is the classic that goes like, and so, I'm offering this simple phrase to kids from 1 to 92. Although it's been said many times, many ways, fuck newborns and 93-year-olds.
You're a disgrace.
You don't like that one?
So the problem with that is, having previously worked in nursing homes and done quite a bit of volunteering for, hospice, I have worked with a few individuals who noticed the age discrepancy, and they were over the age discrepancy.
Oh no.
Now, mind you, no one that I remember has ever been actually, upset about it, but there's definitely been some jokes about, oh, well, I guess no Merry Christmas for me anymore,
Right.
Awful.
Honestly, I feel like I am indifferent to the composition of a lot of Christmas songs. There are a handful that I hate more than I really like. But there are three that I can easily go to as I really love the composition of this song, and one is the Christmas song.
The Christmas
Chestnuts
song,
Roasting on Open Fire.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
I think that one's just classic. I think that's a really great song. Another one is Carol of the Bells, which I don't think is technically a Christmas song, but it's definitely used as one.
I mean, which I'll probably bring up at some point otherwise. There are a lot of songs that we use as Christmas songs that are not really Christmas songs, and there's sort of different levels of what I'm gonna say is acceptable to me, and I'll get to that in just a moment, actually.
And the other one, actually, I think could be argued is almost more of a New Year's song, but Auld Lang Syne.
Yeah.
But
yeah, absolutely.
That's another one that I think is just a really good song.
What are some that you just, general rule, you hate this song?
I have a list, and I also have some little notes next to all of them. 12 Days of Christmas is just downright too repetitive. After 5, I kind of like the Ring of 5 golden rings. After that song can just go to hell.
Alright.
Little Drummer Boy, Parum-pum-pum-pum, hot take maybe, but get this baby talk the fuck out of here. That's not a drum beat, it's repetitive, it's annoying, and if you want a drum beat that's fit for a king, give him the intro to Painkiller.
Gonna be real with you here. I have a hard time believing that Baby Jesus would have been super into thrash metal.
Dude, come on. He
Maybe
would have
I'm
thrown the
wrong.
horns up. He would have done more than look at that little drummer boy. He would have fucking headbanged.
I think that might be a little bit of a stretch considering a lot of things.
Do you hear what I hear? It's slow, it's repetitive. I think that's a theme for this section. All I hear is you saying the same line 13 fucking times, and that's unlucky. You take the drummer boy, you get him out with you.
Alright.
All I want for Christmas is my 2 front teeth. I just wrote, just awful.
You know what? I didn't even think of that one, and you could actually definitely add that to my list. I didn't write it down, but that's not... Yeah, I'm gonna agree with you on that one.
We Wish You a Merry Christmas, which, in concept, I think a lot of this song is okay, except for the fact that it's super rude to refuse to leave until you're given figgy pudding, whatever the fuck that is.
You've never had figgy pudding?
I've never had figgy pudding.
You know what? I feel like we've had this conversation, because I actually keep meaning to make figgy pudding.
Okay.
This is not a good year to do it, because
No.
I can't really have, a lot of company. I mean, spoiler alert, it's not actually any good. But
I kind of figured. I mean,
This
first
isn't a
off,
cooking show.
First off, I don't like figs. I mean, fig Newtons are okay, but I don't really want any figs. But then you find out that there aren't even any figs in figgy
I was
pudding.
gonna say,
What
there's no
the
figs in
fuck
figgy
is it?
It's a pudding. But also, by pudding, we're not talking, the
Not
way
like
we
a good
think of
pudding.
pudding.
It's like a delicious
is-
Jello pudding.
Yeah, we're not talking like a Jello pudding. This is, kind of think of it this way. Stuffing at Thanksgiving, you could almost call a bread pudding by the same definition, so it's like that. A figgy pudding is texturally a lot more like that. Again, this is not a cooking show, though.
Offensive. And then Oh Christmas Tree, and I think at this point I must have had too much eggnog because I just wrote Oh Idolatry, Oh Idolatry.
That definitely sounds like you had too much eggnog. Oh, I love Oh Christmas Tree. That's really sad.
I think I just don't like the fact that there's like 2 lines to it. It's going back to the repetitive thing.
So I think your problem is the fact that a lot of these songs are...
They're low effort, really.
They're really old is what they are. And let's face it, there's a good chance that a lot of these songs stayed popular because they're easy to be sung by groups of drunk people.
Yeah.
So just... Alright, yeah. It is borderline impossible for me to pick traditional Christmas songs that I love, because I started writing a list of my favorite, like, Christmas songs, and this is what I wrote so far. O come Emmanuel, caroling, caroling, Mary, did you know it's beginning to look a lot like Christmas? Christmas, baby, please come home. A holly jolly Christmas, let it snow. Silver bells, sleigh ride, white Christmas. Do you hear what I hear? Baby, it's cold outside. I'll be home for Christmas. What child is this? And that's like an 1/8 of the list that I started writing.
So you like Christmas songs?
I'm really into Christmas music. So I'm really going to focus on a few songs that I don't like.
Okay.
I'm going to fully agree with you on Little Drummer Boy.
Okay.
I don't agree with you for the reason I don't really care about the repetitiveness or, like, the childishness of Parumpa Pum Pum. I just kind of think it's a lame song. I don't really have good specific reasons. It's just kind of a lame song.
Yeah. I'll take that.
So, I personally really like 12 Days of Christmas, but what the world did not need was another cumulative song where you just keep repeating, you know, you go 1 step forward, and then say step 2 and 1, then 3, 2, 1, then 4, 3, 2, 1.
Yeah,
So the other song that does that is Must Be Santa.
Okay.
If you remember Must Be Santa as a little kid.
I don't know that one as well.
Well, don't worry. You're going to, because I'm in a little
I'm
bit...
going to sing the entire thing, right?
No, I'm going to make you listen to a little bit.
Okay.
Who's got a great big cherry nose?
Santa's got a great big cherry nose.
Who laughs this way? Ho, ho, ho!
Santa laughs this way, ho, ho, ho.
Ho, ho, ho! Cherry nose, cap on head, suit that's red, special night, and a beard that's white. Must be Santa, must be Santa, must be Santa, Santa Claus.
But we didn't really need another one. Especially, we did not need a children's Christmas song based on a German drinking song called Schnitzelbank. That in itself tells me this song did not need to exist.
Personally, I think you should just skip it and go right for Schnitzelbank. That sounds awesome.
Ist das nicht ein piece of chalk?
Ja, das ist ein Piece of Chalk.
Ist das nicht ein Key and Lock?
Ja, das ist ein Key and Lock.
Piece of chalk, Key and Lock. Oh, du schöner Schnitzelbank.
Schnitzelbank is a great song that you've actually heard before, but probably don't know it.
Oh, Schnitzelbank, oh, Schnitzelbank.
That's not how it goes, but, I've totally sung it to you at Hofbräu House before, don't worry.
I'm sure you have.
So, another Christmas song that I think just, like, really needs to go away is Dominic the Donkey.
Oh, you know what? Yes, 100% agreement. That one
Dominic the Donkey needs to go get lost in the hills of Italy and never return.
We put the drummer boy on Dominic the Donkey and just send them
And
both out into
send
the
them
wilderness. Yeah. No.
They need to just go away.
It's bad.
So, and then I have one more that I really need to note. It's definitely much less, like, classic.
Okay.
It's not a song that's been, like, recorded by bunches of people, but it's a song that certainly exists. And that is, Do They Know It's Christmas?
Okay.
Do you know this one? The Band-Aid was the 80s, and it has a bunch of different people involved in it?
Yeah.
Okay. That is... That is just such a perfect example of it is so much less than the sum of its parts. It has so many phenomenal artists involved, and it is... Honestly, I couldn't even sing it to you right now. It is so frustratingly bland considering the incredible lineup of talent involved in this song.
Man, I vaguely know that song, but I...
Exactly! But most importantly, if I had to get rid of one Christmas song, it would be My Favorite Things. Because that is not a Christmas song. And that is where I am drawing the line of acceptable being a Christmas song, even though it wasn't. No. My Favorite Things is not a Christmas song. Jack Jones was recording a Christmas album, and they needed filler, so one of the producers basically said, pick a song that's popular right now, we'll put sleigh bells in it and sell it, and it worked, and people still record covers of it on Christmas albums. It needs to go away. There is almost nothing wintry. There's nothing about it that fits the sentimental mood of Christmas. It does nothing. It has its own context where it belongs, and it needs to go back into a musical that should never be watched again anyway. It needs to stop.
I don't think I ever really took a look at the lyrics, but I'm looking at them right now. And you're right, there's not one Christmassy thing.
There is a line. There is a line that people use to defend it. I want to see if you can find it.
Doorbells and sleigh bells and schnitzel with noodles?
I mean, I guess if you want to use that.
I was going with sleigh bells, but...
Yeah, that's...
brown paper packages tied up with strings?
That's the only line people really cite to defend why it's a Christmas song.
But brown paper packages, you wouldn't use brown paper. I mean, I guess maybe back in the day, but like traditionally you think of like bright colorful paper for...
It needs to go away. It needs to stop. It needs to stop. It needs to stop.
Jeff's putting his foot down. No more of my favorite things for Christmas.
I haven't.
The Sound of Music can go fuck itself.
That's not quite what I said, but if nobody ever listened to The Sound of Music again, I think the world would be a better place.
Okay.
I hate this. I'm so cynical, and I'm talking about Christmas music. This is awful.
Well, let's go. Okay, I know that your list is. I know that your list of things of songs that you love is really long, but can you pick a few favorites? Give me a few favorites. Top 10 or something.
I mean, I'm not going to
give
give
you
a top 10.
Let's go back to positivity.
I think a few specific ones that are...
Give me a few of your favorite things.
You know what? No, I'm not even giving you this anymore. Because you brought it back to that, I'm moving on. I'm not touching this anymore. We're moving on, and I'm going to now defend some of the songs I just said I hated.
Okay.
Because I want to talk about not just the songs themselves, but specific recordings, specific renditions of songs, versions of songs we love or we hate.
Okay.
There are no recordings of my favorite things that I like, except, and this has nothing to do with Christmas, John Coltrane, jazz saxophonist, took my favorite things and turned it into this absolutely epic improvisation. But that's kind of like its own story. That has nothing to do with Christmas. It was not marketed as Christmas. It was just a backdrop for John Coltrane to be amazing. Gospel according to Train. But a song that I just criticized that I would want to give credit where it's due is The Little Drummer Boy.
Okay.
I don't like the song, but there are 2 recordings of it that I do enjoy. And the one... Oh, you can tell I'm getting into Christmas spirit here because I'm about to say I like something by somebody who I passionately can't stand. There is a recording with Bing Crosby, not him, I like Bing Crosby, and David Bowie.
Oh, God. We've come back to this.
Have you ever heard the Bing Crosby, David Bowie Little Drummer Boy Peace on Earth?
No, I haven't.
It's amazing. There's like a little video. It's incredible. It's wonderful. It's adorable.
Our finest gifts we bring, ba-rum-ba-bum-bum, rum-ba-bum-bum, rum-ba-bum-bum. Peace on earth, can it be? And years from now, perhaps we'll see.
And it is one of the very few things David Bowie ever did in his life that I think is worth remembering.
All right, giving a little bit of Christmas cheer to David Bowie this year.
Right? It's amazing.
Christmas miracles can happen. I don't care what anyone says.
It wasn't that long ago that I said some really awful things about David Bowie, so it's alright. Anyway, also The Little Drummer Boy, another recording that I think is really, really awesome, is actually Josh Groban, who, for the record, I think his Christmas album is phenomenal. But what I think is really cool about it is it features Andy McKee, who is not a drummer. So it's a song about a drummer, and when you see Josh Groban featuring a name, my first thought, I think, would be like, oh, they have some drummer on this. No. Andy McKee is one of those acoustic guitar, like, solo They were super popular on YouTube in the mid-2000s, the overhand, slappy, tappy stuff that, like...
I was going to say, I remember him. He was, like, one of
August...
the percussive guitarists, right?
Yes, like, the movie August Rush was based on this influx of this style of guitar playing that was really popular in the mid-2000s. He's one of them. In fact, he's one of the biggest ones. He had a video that went hugely viral of a track called Drifting. So, this little drummer boy recording features an incredibly rhythmic, percussive guitar player. And I think that's just such an awesome contrast. And it's just so unexpected.
It's a little bit of a different way of doing it, yeah.
It's a phenomenal recording.
Okay. Interesting. I'll have to look into those ones.
It's so good. Do you have anything else before I go on another rant? Do you want me to go on another whatever?
Go ahead.
No, this is a song that not a song I typically hate. This is a song I love.
Okay.
Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas.
Okay.
There's something I adore about sad Christmas songs.
I do like that song. I don't know if it's one of my top. I mean, I really only went for the top 3 there, but I think that is one of the ones that's probably higher on the list.
And I feel like we've talked about this, not like on the podcast, but just like over the years we've known each other. I think you and I have talked about the fact that the song had some lyric changes. Are you aware of this at all? That the lyrics at one point were actually sadder than they are commonly known now?
That sounds familiar. I feel like that's probably something I read an article on and then came to you with because you're the Christmas boy, and we discussed it, and then I kind of forgot it over the years.
Okay, so refresher here. The song was written by Hugh Martin and Ralph Blame. Although supposedly Martin claims that he wrote the entire thing by himself. I can't really find a great source on that, so I don't really know. It was used in the movie Meet Me in St. Louis in 1944, originally sung by Judy Garland.
Okay.
The problem is, they brought the song and the music to the director and some of the actors and actresses involved in the movie, and basically everyone hated it. They basically said, like, this is the most depressing thing ever. We cannot use this. You need to rewrite this song. So
might have been fitting for Judy Garland. She seemed pretty unhappy.
Yeah, that's... You know what? I don't want to talk about Judy Garland's sad life, because I could for a long time, and I don't want to.
That wouldn't be Christmassy at all.
This song's sad enough. So I found supposedly, original lyrics, but I can't find verification of any of them. There are some lines we absolutely know were originals. Like, the line that we all know now as... Let your heart be light, or next year all our troubles will be out of sight, was originally... I can't even read this without laughing, I'm sorry. Give me a second. The line was originally, have yourself a merry little Christmas. It may be your last. Next year, we may all be living in the past.
Is this the 2020 rendition?
It literally is. I love that. It may be your last. So obviously that was changed in Judy Garland saying, let your heart be light, let your trouble, next year all our troubles will be out of sight, whatever. Then the lyrics that a lot of other people know are thanks to Frank Sinatra. When he first recorded it in the 50s, he basically said, I'm making a happy Christmas album, you need to change some of these, give me a new line. And the line that bothered him was, until then, we'll have to muddle through somehow, was changed for Sinatra to hang a shining star upon the highest bough.
Oh.
So those are the two definitive lines. Like I said, there are other lines that some people claim they have the originals of. I've read various takes on what the whole original song supposedly was. Those lines, we know for a fact, this was the original line, and this is what it's changed to.
That's super cool. I didn't know that. I don't know that I ever knew that Sinatra actually changed that line. Because that's obviously the more famous version. I kind of probably would have assumed that one was one of the original ones.
Yeah. Wow. And so because this is the thing that I pay attention to, whenever I hear new recordings of Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas, I pay attention to what lyrics they keep. Like, did they keep a shining star, or did they keep we'll have to muddle through somehow?
Do many versions use we'll have to muddle through somehow?
There's a handful, yeah. There's a handful of people who still use it.
I don't know if I've ever heard it.
It's interesting. I mean, if you've ever heard the Judy Garland version, you've heard it, but
I don't know
the
that I have,
Sinatra version and the rewritten lyrics are what most people are more familiar with. It's definitely more popular. I have never found anyone who still uses the line, "It may be your last. Next year we may all be living in the past." I'm waiting to find somebody who uses it.
This would have been the year to track that one.
Oh no. So I love both recordings of those songs, and I will get into later on because there's other people who have recorded other versions of songs. My favorite recording of the song, is between those two. Whether I want the super depressing Judy Garland one or like the kind of hopeful Sinatra version, I adore them both. And then just like I have like just a quick list of other like these are my favorite renditions of songs. If anyone is interested, if you want to find some clips and throw them out there. Just a couple of them real quick. Another Josh Groban one. Again, his album is phenomenal. His recording of I'll Be Home for Christmas is great, especially if you feel like crying because it has like little short interview clips of people who were overseas in the military at the time when it was recorded.
I'll be home for Christmas, if only in my dream.
Hi, I'm Lieutenant Colonel Philip Stagg. I'd like to wish my family and friends back in Richmond, Virginia, a very Merry Christmas.
One young, and I want to send out a Merry Christmas.
I'd like to wish my family a very...
It's great. It's adorable. Colin Ray, who I know most people know as like a country singer, even if you're not in the country, the man has an absolutely phenomenal voice. I did not believe it until I heard his recording of Oh Holy Night. And it is by far my favorite recording of Oh Holy Night. I had no idea this man has the voice that he does. Dean Martin's recording of Silver Bells. It's the only recording of Silver Bells anyone needs. I don't know why anyone else would ever record Silver Bells. You're never gonna, at least to me, appeal. Like, you're never gonna make that song better to me. Another Dean Martin one is actually Dean Martin and Frank Sinatra, Marshmallow World. It's a song that's been covered by a lot of people, but the one off of the Dean Martin show Christmas Special in 1967, there's videos of the two of them together. They even kind of make some mistakes and kind of start over singing each other, and sometimes it's just funny and they kind of rip on each other. It's
kind of off the cuff type of thing.
I mean, they're just being performers, and they're seasoned veterans by 1967, so they don't care anymore.
Yeah.
If someone messes up a line, they're just gonna laugh at each other. The Christmas Waltz is not a hugely covered song, but it's around. The cover by She and Him, I think, is the best one out there.
It's that time of year when the world falls in love. Every song you hear seems to say, Merry Christmas, may your New Year's dreams come true.
It's also the only recording of it that actually feels like a waltz. For some reason, everyone does the Christmas waltz with these really grand accompaniment musically, and it loses the fact that it's supposed to feel like a waltz. I don't know how people mess this up. I will have to say, She and Him's Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas. The She and Him cover is also very good of that, but they use the Sinatra lyrics. Carol of the Bells, which you mentioned as a song you really love.
I think that's a great song, yeah.
This is going to sound crazy. My favorite recording of it is by the band Thrice.
Oh, wow. I didn't even know they did one, so I mean, I can't talk, but I also, I heard the album 1X, and that's about it. That was them, right? 1X?
I don't have a clue.
Sure.
I knew, 5 of their songs, and I own one album. I own the album The Artist in the Ambulance.
Hey, that's what I'm going to say, and that's a problem for future me to deal with. No, Past Me is an Idiot. 1X is a 3 Days Grace album, and the album I was thinking of by Thrice is Visu.
I know very little about them otherwise. I know that for the most part I'm not a big fan of them.
That's what I know.
And their cover of Carol of the Bells was never released on an album, as far as I can tell. I believe it was literally released, like, on their MySpace page.
Okay.
And on, like, a fan website you could download the MP3. You can now find it, like, on YouTube and stuff, but its official release was basically non-existent.
Yeah, I mean, once it's out there, it's out there. But yeah, I know there are some bands that, like, release stuff via MySpace and stuff back in the day.
Yeah.
Just this year, Devin Townsend put out Silent Night just on YouTube. I thought that was a really good version.
I was half waiting for you to say he put something up on a MySpace page.
No.
2020, Devin Townsend MySpace.
Bringing back MySpace.
Go become his friend. Me, Tom, and Devin. That's all we need, man.
Fucking Tom, holy shit. What a reference.
How do you forget Tom?
No, you never forget Tom.
Everybody's only friend.
Yeah.
So, two more of just, like, specific recordings I think I need to mention. One is another song that I actually don't like, but I didn't really want to get into it, is Happy Christmas, War is Over, by John Lennon. It's a happy day. We're talking about Christmas. I don't want to talk about how much I hate John Lennon, so I'm not going to. But the recording of the song by Shinedown is, Christmas song aside, I think Brent Smith's vocal performance is one of, like, the best modern rock vocals on this I've ever heard. It's incredible. First off, I really do think he's one of the best, like, modern rock singers out there. And just, it's so good. It's so good. Surprisingly.
Yeah, if we're going towards more modern songs that are garbage, I can definitely put Happy Christmas, War is Over on the list.
So then, one more. And this is a song that I already mentioned that, as a general rule, I don't like the song. But Must Be Santa has a recording by Bob Dylan.
Oh.
Which I only
Which sounds like, you know, gasoline and fire, but okay. Defend this decision. Go ahead.
I only like it because it has this really awkward section in the middle where he starts randomly listing the names of politicians.
Oh my god, I think I've heard this.
It literally goes Dasher, Dancer, Prancer, Vixen, Eisenhower, Kennedy, Johnson, Nixon, Dasher, Dancer, Prancer, Vixen, Cardin, Reagan, Bush, and Clinton. Like,
I've heard
makes
this.
No sense, and it's my favorite thing ever. It's incredible.
Oh,
it's so good.
Can I add a latecomer to my list of songs I hate?
Do you want to add Must Be Santa?
Okay, add that one. I also kind of want to add I Saw Mommy Kissing Santa Claus.
I'm gonna have to argue that one, only because it's not a great song, but without it, we wouldn't have the parody version I Saw Daddy Kissing Santa Claus, which is truly a Christmas classic.
You know what? I'll take that answer.
In the world of novelty songs, at least.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna lead you in, because I'm sure this is on your list here. Okay, listen, Devin Townsend, we love you here. Your YouTube exclusive recording of Silent Night was great, but it will never match the loudest recording of Silent Night, featuring Chuck Billy, Scotty Ian, and I don't remember who else. You know
it doesn't matter.
It's
so fucking good.
It's the funniest. It is almost, if not, it is. I don't know. I can't decide if it's funnier or not than Bob Dylan's Political Insanity in the middle. There is nothing quite like a song called Silent Night screamed by a heavy metal vocalist.
Silent night, holy night, shepherd's queen in the sight, glory streams from heavens afar, heavenly hosts sing hallelujah, Christ the Savior is born, Christ the Savior is born.
We Wish You a Metal Christmas in general, I think, is just such a fun album. Obviously, the version of Silent Night on it is incredible. Yes. There's a bunch of really good performances on it. Like, I don't really like We Wish You a Merry Christmas, but, like, I'm not gonna argue with Jeff Scott Soto.
So, for the record, the We Wish You a Metal Christmas and a Headbanging New Year, I think is its full title.
Yes.
Yeah. Is a Christmas compilation album from like 2010.
Yeah, it was released twice. Like they added some bonus tracks.
Oh,
and
was it?
re-released
Okay.
it. Yeah.
And it's there's not a single full band. It's just mixtures of hard rock and metal musicians forming little one-off super groups and recording songs. Like, I know one of them is Run Run Rudolph, and it's Lemmy from Motorhead, Billy Gibbons from ZZ Top, and Dave Grohl.
It's so good.
It's fantastic.
It's so good.
I know.
I love Alice Cooper.
Alice Cooper sings "Santa Claus is Coming to Town," and it's CLAWS. Claus is coming to town.
He has fun with it.
Fun
About like he had some stuff about breaking all the toys and stuff. It's funny.
Yeah.
It has what might be my favorite performance of a song that I otherwise don't really care about, but God Rest Ye Merry Gentlemen with Dio and Tony Iommi.
God rest ye merry gentlemen, let nothing you dismay. Remember Christ our Savior, He was born on Christmas Day to save us all from Satan's power when we were gone astray. Oh, tidings of
Yeah, I mean, without a doubt. Without a doubt.
And you get to experience just how far Jeff Tate has fallen on Silver Bells.
Can you please, editor's note here, can you please put in examples of how Jeff Tate went from this phenomenal, like, 80s hard rock vocalist
Skin tight leather provides my pleasure.
to, okay, so, like, I had a cat. When I was in 3rd grade, we got this cat named Patches. And Patches had that kind of meow that, like, if a cat smoked cigarettes for 15 years, like, that's what this cat's meow was. And that is not far off of how Jeff Tate sounds in this recording of Silver Bells.
Sugar laughing, people passing, many smile after smile, and on every street corner you're here.
It is so strained and awful, and it's kind of funny, but honestly, it's more irritating than anything.
Yes. It sure is a mess, and the consensus seems to be that he can't, like, stop smoking cigarettes for too long. Like, he keeps quitting, and then his voice gets a little better, and he starts up again.
And then he starts up again, yeah. I don't want to go on a rant about singers who don't take care of their voices, but singers, please take care of your voices. Like, it's what you got.
Like, it is your instrument, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so that's kind of, hashtag end rant here. Chris, other than the ones I've already mentioned for you, what are some of your favorite or, like, least favorite renditions of Christmas songs?
Well, I'm gonna go out there and say one of my favorite, like, just across the board. I don't think that there's anything that I can't put on by Sinatra. I know that's, like, not exactly a groundbreaking opinion, but I also think he just has the
People
perfect
like Frank Sinatra?
Yeah, but I just think he has the perfect timbre for Christmas. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not to make, like, a tree joke or anything, but
It's fine, because the word's actually pronounced timbre, but that's fine.
You're fine. It's fine. Does anyone say it that way?
Timbre?
Yeah.
Go to a music school.
I understand that, but, like...
So yes, like...
But
I mean,
I made, like, a layman mistake. Like, I'm not...
No, I'm being a
You're
jerk
being...
who has
Yeah,
a
you're
degree
being a
in
music major right now.
I'm being a jerk who has a music degree. A dirk? Did I say a dirk?
I think you did.
I'm being a jerk who has a music degree is what I'm doing.
It's fine.
Yeah.
But
no, I totally get it. You're totally fine.
I think that he has, like, it's not, like, too deep, but it's just, like, it's got that nice, warm, full sound. He's just so good. He
has a voice of a man who's just like, come and give me a hug, I'm gonna give you a glass of scotch if you're old enough, and by old enough I mean 14.
Like 12, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. He has the voice of that cool uncle who you totally know is in the mob, but you don't actually really say it.
Yeah, like when he goes to you, anyone giving you any problems in school, Billy? You don't say yes because you know he will kill them.
I'm not saying that Frank Sinatra was in the mob. I'm not saying it.
He just had some friends. That's all. That's all I'm saying.
I'm just saying the FBI did have files on him. Anyway.
Going more in the rock direction, I think that the Twisted Sister Christmas album is a lot more fun than it has any right to be.
I think Twisted Sister in general are just a lot more fun than they have any right to be. And also, I sometimes forget the fact that Dee Snider is actually a great singer.
He really is. He's really... He just nails that stuff. Obviously, and we're going to be talking about one of them a little bit later, but Rob Halford has 2 Christmas albums. I would say both of them are really fucking solid.
If what you're into is... If you are, like, a diehard metalhead and you want to find Christmas music that is, acceptable for you to listen to, yeah, Rob Halford, of Judas Priest, has 2 heavy metal Christmas albums, and they are... you know what? If you don't like them, that's your problem. As a general rule, to sum up most of my thoughts here, aside from things that we've otherwise discussed or are going to discuss still, there's a lot of Christmas albums, and a lot of people cover the same handful of Christmas songs. There's 35 songs that everybody has sung.
Yeah.
And most recordings of most songs are fine.
That's kind of where I'm going. I mean, I grew up, my mom always had the Carpenters Christmas and Nat King Cole Christmas. And I always thought both were fine, but I don't know if I'm going back to them this year. I don't think I've heard them since I was 13 or 14.
Oh God, no! I totally overlooked something actually.
Oh.
Speaking of Nat King Cole, first off, how dare you?
How dare I?
How dare you?
Do I need to revisit Nat King Cole?
Refer to Nat King Cole as just fine.
Oh, do I need to revisit? Full disclosure, I haven't heard it since I was 14. Is it time for me to grow appreciation for Nat King Cole?
Not even just his Christmas songs. It is time for the world to appreciate the genius that was Nat King Cole.
Nat King Cole was a merry old soul.
Nat King Cole was phenomenal. But, so, real quick here, favorite recordings of a song. And I just totally overlooked this in my notes, so if you want to edit this and fix it, I'm sorry.
No, that's fine. I'm cool with this being off the cuff. I don't want to hit no.
Difficult for Chris.
No, it's fine.
Yeah. So the Christmas song, or as people call it, Chestnuts Roasting on Open Fire. The recording many people know is by Nat King Cole, who recorded it 4 separate times.
Wow.
So, the recording most people know is actually from 1961, which I think was the last time he recorded it.
Chestnuts roasting on an open fire, Jack Frost nipping at your nose, Yuletide carols being sung by a choir, and folks dressed up like Eskimos.
And it has a string quartet and a harpist. It's a much bigger, much more lush recording. And he was a little older than he was the previous times he recorded it.
Is that how age works? I love you.
You know what? I said that poorly. You're right. I'm sorry. But the recording that I think is my absolute favorite recording of that song is actually just by the Nat King Cole Trio. So it's just guitarist Oscar Moore and bassist Johnny Miller and Nat King Cole playing piano and singing. I forget what year it was recorded, but it was not officially released until 1989, and it was released by mistake. It was, like, accidentally put on a compilation. So it's from the 40s. I want to say it's from 1945. He is much younger, so his voice isn't quite as husky, and there's not the string accompaniment, there's not the harp. It's super stripped down, but otherwise it's the same song. Like, it's the same general arrangement. I just think it's a much better recording.
Chestnuts roasting on an open fire, Jack Frost nipping at your nose.
I will send you links to both of those because they are both very important.
Okay, cool. Because, sifting through 4 different recordings of Nat King Cole.
Yeah, I'm not going to make you sit through 4. I'm going to make you sift through 2.
That's fine.
Because
okay,
quite frankly,
I guess
some of them are basically copies of each other.
I guess this is the year that I get beaten into submission until I appreciate Nat King Cole.
I realize he's not your kind of music, but
no, it's not even that. It's I grew up with it, and at 14, I kind of hit that age where I'm not baking cookies and listening to Nat King Cole with mom anymore.
Yeah,
this is lame. I'm gonna go play Zelda on Christmas Eve or whatever the fuck. And I don't think I ever went back to it. So maybe this is the year.
Yeah.
I still kind of have the mental image that the Carpenters are lame. Do you want to change that opinion?
The Carpenters' Christmas album is totally fine. The Carpenters always came off as slightly incestuous sounding to me, and that's kind of all I'm gonna say right now. Remember that Folgers commercial where the guy comes home from the army or the Peace Corps or something, and he opens the door and he doesn't really recognize his sister jokingly, and she's like, "Sister, huh?" And then she gives her a present, and she pulls the bow off the present and puts it on his chest, and she goes, "You're my present this year." And then they creepily glare at each other, and then they're obviously annoyed that mom and dad woke up and came downstairs because it's gross and it's creepy, and I think the Carpenters would have been a perfect soundtrack to that commercial. That's all I'm saying.
All right, Jeff's telling the Carpenters to take the mamas and the papas and get the fuck out of town.
Anyway.
Someday soon we all will be together if the fates allow. Until then